Bastion Cooper. Who is he? And are you certain he's our guy?
Certain, no. Confident, yes. I found a piece of clothing in Muse's lair, and we assumed it was fabric, but our analysis showed that it was actually canvas.
Canvas.
This particular canvas is very rare, very expensive. There's only 2 stores in the entire city that sell it. In the last 2 weeks, 12 people have bought it, and we have talked to 11 of them. Bastion is the only person we couldn't find.
Doesn't prove he's guilty.
No, but when we started looking into Bastion's past, we made some troubling discoveries.
Hey, panelists, welcome back to the show. I'm Mark.
And I'm Becky.
And this week, we kind of missed it a little bit. We haven't talked about Daredevil Born Again, season 1. So in this particular episode of the podcast, we're going to concentrate on episodes 6 and 7. Now, mind you, you might get this on the very day when episode 7 shows up, or maybe day after. I don't know, because I've got a lot of things going on, family stuff, work stuff, everything. But we're here to give it to you and just keep our thoughts. If we could entertain you, and this is what we want to do. So anyhow. So we're covering episodes 6 and 7. These are spoiler full, so obviously you guys know the rules. You know, if you haven't watched it, go back, watch it, listen to us, or you probably have already listened to a ton of other people, and you're like, oh, I've already heard this same stuff. But we have fun with this, and that's the whole point. Rob couldn't make it; he's kind of busy with his own stuff at this point. And hopefully, I'm hoping that Rob could come back at a later point. Same thing with Steve. Steve's on vacation. So
Steve is living his best life.
Oh, yeah. He's out in Germany. He's having fun.
I'm very envious of the food pictures that he's posting.
I'm envious of Penny, who's out in New Zealand. Yeah. She does that on the on podcast because she covers what Still Slaying, a Buffyverse podcast. So my cohort and D&D, as it were, we were doing kids on bikes. Now I think we're doing kids on brooms. And after I finish this podcast and recording, we're going to be recording that. And keep that in mind, everybody. So if you're not clued into Podcastica, have fun. Jump on, be part of that community. Cheap plug for Jason right there. Anyhow, like I said, we're covering Daredevil Born Again, episodes 6 and 7. So we're going to go consecutively and give our thoughts about each particular episode and go into a little bit of discussion, our favorite moments, thoughts, overall thoughts, and quotes. So episode 6, Becky, what is the title and what is the synopsis?
The title of this episode is Excessive Force, and the synopsis: when a serial killer terrorizes the streets of New York, the city needs a savior. And what a great serial killer that was. That was impressive. I liked that a lot.
The character is there. I will give notes based upon the character itself. If you guys want them now, well, you're not here, so I can't say, please put your hand up. Anyhow, we will talk about that in a little bit in our in-depth discussion about the episode. But what was your overall thoughts about the episode itself, Becky?
I really liked it. It was a little, there were parts that were a little over the top, but if you just remove yourself from, and remember this is a superhero television show, anyway, I love
semi superhero. If you think about it, he has some abilities, but not super intense as the abilities that we know of other Marvel characters. So but it does get intense because of the drama and everything that Matt goes into. So that's what I loved about Daredevil. It was more of a grounded hero.
Well, and the cool thing with this episode is this is the first time, because haven't been on since we covered the first two episodes. So
Yeah.
if you're new to listening, I am brand new to the Daredevil franchise, and Mark talked me into watching, and I'm really enjoying this season, but it made me so much want to go back and watch the
Mhm.
original that was on Netflix. So I am doing that. And this is the first episode that had that Netflix-esque feel to it, to
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
And like I said, I love the serial killer. I think they picked a great one, and it really felt almost like a horror film. I loved the parallel between Fisk and Matt, both trying to be people they're not and fight who they really are, and then just watching the parallels of them basically both succumbing to who they really are.
Exactly.
It was very, I felt it just very poetic from that aspect. And I enjoyed it. I really liked it.
Yeah, I have to agree with everything you said. I feel that there is a parallel, and that was the whole thing. They were actually putting things in place in certain scenes between Fisk and Matt at certain points where you start to feel it, and you could see Fisk is try to be doing the right thing as some sort of Republican now being the mayor, and he's kind of focusing in on these vigilantes, and it was mostly based upon White Tiger and everything else. And now and Matt's trying to sway the idea of not getting himself involved, but push comes to shove, we find out at the very end what happens, and that's where both show their true colors at the end this particular
Yeah.
episode. What I did love about it, to go into things that we did like about it, the opening with the talk on the BB report, and there's a video of a swordsman, and it's talking about, vigilantism. So a lot of you listeners who listened to me and Steve when we were covering Hawkeye way back when, you all do remember the character that we're talking about. And I had questions about it, and I had to go back and recollect who this person was. And yes, from the Hawkeye show, Jacques Dequesne is a wealthy socialite and talented swordsman himself, who became engaged to, of all things, Eleanor Bishop, Kate Bishop's mother, if you all recall back in Hawkeye. And he was also a swordsman in the comics, and we did talk about that when we were covering Hawkeye. And that particular character, if for you comic book lovers, will remember that he first appeared in Avengers issue number 19 in August 1965, not 1975. But it's amazing to see him to come back. It was the same actor, same thing, same etiquette, and the way he was talking to Fisk at that little get together, that meeting, and that party that is, that Vanessa had held, and them talking about how to make the city better again and to do all these things that Fisk wants to do. But to see he had a hood on his face and he was doing the swashbuckling thing with the sword, I thought that was amazing, and it was great. It was a great callback for Disney Plus and Marvel to bring us back at that level. And for those of you who have not watched Hawkeye, I highly recommend it. Yes, I know, Becky, you're raising your hand. She's like, I got to get into this stuff more. Mark, send me more stuff.
No, don't send me any more until I'm done with Daredevil. Baby steps.
Baby steps, I know. But that was the one thing that in the very intro, I was like, oh my God, here we go. We got some more stuff, a lot of history. And hopefully we see more of him. I want to see more of Jack. I want to see more of the swordsman. It'd be so great. Even if it's on the lower tiered version, which would be Disney Plus on its show concepts, because honestly, are we actually going to see these people in the films? I don't know. In the regular MCU, possibly. There is talks that, possibly we will get Daredevil in the MCU itself directly when it comes to Doomsday or Secret Wars, because they're talking about multiple amounts of different heroes coming out, and they've only scratched the surface when it came to that. And I think everything is going to come to a head. I'm hoping, and I'm looking forward to the more the heroes and more the villains, the merrier, especially in the MCU. Anyhow, did you have any particular moments that you liked within the episode? Doesn't have to go in chronological order. It could be in and out. Becky,
I like my favorite thing, or my favorite, or not really my favorite, but the thing that stood out to me the most, I thought it was Fisk's undoing, so to speak. So you were talking about that party, and by the way, one of the people he was talking to was Catherine Lanasa from The Pit. She's the nurse on The Pit. I was like, wait, I know her. Anyway, he's at the party and he's not getting what he wants. He does not like being this political person who has to ask for money and ask to be able to do the things that he wants to accomplish. He's used to being the kingpin and using force and violence to get things done. And you could see it just slowly seeping to the surface that he's like, this is not my jam. So, and then you get Luca, who basically, completely disrespects him and shows up at his place of business, his work. And he's like, all right, well, I'm going to create this task force and use this task force to stop the vigilante,
or any vigilante at this point. It doesn't necessarily have
it
to
doesn't
be
matter. Yeah, good or bad, or well, I guess to him, they're all bad. But, going back to what I was saying earlier, with him and Matt's parallel transitions, Fisk sees Vanessa and the city and everything they are they're his possessions. And he's not, as a mayor, he's like, I'm going to save the city. Fisk doesn't care. Fisk just wants the world in his hand.
Correct.
And he can't have it the way that he used to, but he's selfish. He's being purely, purely selfish. And it all comes to a head. Was listening to you and Steve talk about us discovering Adam is tucked away in the basement. And what he does to Adam was probably what really made me think, okay, we're going the darker way that the Netflix series did. That was very brutal and very intense. But, when he lays that crushing blow and he screams mine, it was just like a light bulb went off for me that it's like all he wants is he wants possessions. He wants to own things. He wants to be in control of things. And right now he doesn't have that control. And because of that, he's losing his front and we're getting to know the man he used to be, the kingpin, all over again.
Yeah.
I loved that whole thing. And hats off to Vincent D'Onofrio for just stellar acting.
Yeah, I'm wondering if he's listening to Tears for Fears, Everybody Wants to Rule the World.
Yeah,
over and over
great
again
song.
in his head constantly. But that's literally what Wilson Fisk is, if you think about it. He's like a grown child. Gets what he wants, and then he pushes and uses his mass and his appeal, as well as being bullying people into getting what he wants. And at one point, and you're doing a rewatch of or a first watch of the original of Daredevil, and you're seeing Wilson Fisk as he was in the very beginning and how he came to be, and you're starting to see that grown childlike attitude of, I have to have this is mine. It's like the Veruca Salt. I want it now. It's mine.
Yeah.
That attitude. Not to make him kind of look dainty or anything, everybody, but it's the attitude of it. And that's how Wilson Fisk was in the comics and how he is portrayed as, by Vincent D'Onofrio. And I think it's portrayed very well and in a proper way, in a sense of how he was a mobster and now he's the mayor and he thinks that I am the mayor. I could do what I want. And honestly, he can't. And
Nope.
That's the whole thing. I love how when Heather brings up the article about masked vigilantes and what her thoughts are on the idea and tries to bring it to Matt's attention and what his thoughts are regarding it, and trying to get Matt to get an interview with either Frank Castle or Daredevil himself.
Yeah.
And mind you, she's looking in the face of Daredevil.
You're talking to him right now.
And not that anybody has seen or heard of Daredevil in over a year at this point. But the fact is that she knew that he represented Frank at one point, that he actually had to represent or talk to Frank at one point. And during that time, and you're probably going through this now with season 2 on Daredevil.
Yeah, I just recently met Frank.
Okay. So
very cool.
Yeah, and his issues as well as in prison. I think that's what happened in season.
I haven't seen the prison yet, but I have heard anyone I mention that I'm watching the original Daredevil, that's the first thing they say.
Yeah.
So
it's
I'm
intense.
very excited to get to it.
I love that Hector's niece Angela, she's basically investigating on her own and then meets up with Matt, and Matt just brings up the whole thing of like, you skipped class. It's, you should be in the period 3 or 4 at this point. And she goes, well, I'm passing and I'm doing well.
Yeah.
And her plea to have someone finishing Hector's work, giving Matt a little bit more reason to don the costume again. And it's really tapping in on Matt and his consciousness of being Daredevil again, and then going into that whole ideal and thought. And he's like really hurting at that point. But yeah, that to me, it was like you know that they're pulling the strings. They're doing that with both Fisk and Matt within this episode, and it's like they're taunting us, and we know what the outcome is going to be.
But they did a really great job. Fisk, like I said, is doing it for himself, and then you've got Matt on the other hand, who still isn't a saint by any means, but he truly does go into everything. I think the only reason he donned that suit was knowing that Muse had this girl that means something to him. Right. But I loved that scene earlier where he was, I think it was in episode 5 where he was on the roof, making the decision to be this man again. I absolutely loved that. But, it just shows he's doing everything he can for the city. He's not bragging for credit. He doesn't need the pomp and circumstance like Fisk does. The murals that Muse is painting that basically are showing Fisk to his face, you suck. And then Fisk can't can't even take a mural down.
Yeah.
And so I just love the way those two, and we'll get more into it when we start talking about episode 7.
Episode 7 gives a little bit more detail about those murals and everything. We'll get into it.
Yeah.
But oh my God. And then Fisk forming his special task force, him interviewing those officers that were there.
His officers.
Yeah. Yeah. His officers like Cole North. I'm sorry. Jeremy Isaiah Earl. Oh, he has the most beautiful eyes I've ever seen on a man. I was
He's
like,
very handsome.
he's a very handsome man. I was like, damn, he's so pretty. But he had really good depth in his character, and him talking about it with the rest of the crew that, that Fisk was trying to put together. And they all started seeing it, and they're like, yeah, yeah. And it's kind of like the Wrecking Crew all over again. Now,
Yeah.
you'll remember that. The Wrecking Crew showed up when? In Hawkeye. So, and it's funny when you brought up earlier, Becky, about Luca, it just made me think of the jumpsuit mafia in Hawkeye too. So if you ever get a chance to watch that series, it's amazing. Especially embracing Kate Bishop and everything, because Fisk has something to do with that as well, by the way.
All right.
So that's a little bit more into it, and you get to have fun and watch this stuff for the first time and reflect and go, oh, I'm putting the pieces to the puzzle together now.
It's cool. I normally, going back and watching something, you start something new and then you go back and watch the beginning. I know I'm doing it completely backwards, but
But it works.
I get a little confused sometimes, like when we're going to record and I need to take notes and I'm thinking, okay, what did I see? And I'm like, wait, nope, that was
Exactly right.
Season 1 of the original. It's funny, but it's just such a cool view. And then seeing, because when we started this, I didn't know anything about Fisk.
Yeah.
I knew who Daredevil was. I knew a bit of his backstory and whatnot, but I had no idea who Fisk was. And I was like, well, this is interesting. And then going back to the beginning, it's like, dang, man.
Yeah, that's not Michael Clark Duncan.
Yeah.
I did love that once Angela did not come home, that Soledad, her aunt, had stated, or her mother, I think, had called, Matt worrying, saying, hey, she has not come home. And then Matt does the one thing, and it pushes him over the edge, because he knew right away Angela's in trouble, and he dons the suit. So we get the original suit, everybody, the red suit. And he goes out there. He's got his batons. They got the cool loops and everything else that we didn't really get to see too much of within the original series. But in this one, wow. And unfortunately, we see Muse has taken her to his lair and ready to drain her of her blood and to make yet another mural, because we do find out that the murals are made of blood at certain points. And it's paint with the blood itself. And it was just so harrowing to see that. Like, he puts that siphoning unit to suck her blood out of her. And you're like, what is going on here? And then we get to see that amazing fight between Matt and Muse.
One thing I liked about it happened here in 6 and in 7 with Heather is, under normal show circumstances, like when he had, is it her name Angela, the niece?
Yes.
Okay. When he had her on the table and he's getting ready to start the bloodletting process, and you're like, okay,
yeah,
here comes Daredevil, but they take it to that step. He's successful in hurting her, and she almost dies, and then Correct. They do it again in episode 7. I appreciate them, and I don't think it's for just for gore's sake. I think it's just to add a little bit more stakes to the situation, and it forces Matt / Daredevil to interact with these people to say, you're going to be okay, which I can't imagine them not eventually, once the trauma, they start to process the trauma itself, that they're not going to realize who it was that was talking to him or talking to them. That voice is very distinct.
Yes, and I'm waiting for Angela to be like, hi, Matt. Yeah, I know you're Daredevil.
I thought she was going to say it in the hospital, but
Yeah, I know. I know we're
oh,
focusing later on everybody, but even still, it's just like I know Matt's voice.
yeah.
But
So
the cool thing about the fight scene, it interplays both with Fisk and Matt. Matt fighting Muse, and then Fisk dealing with the one guy he had locked up and hands him the axe, and both of them fighting themselves to be who they're supposed to be. And it's kind of a dance that you see between both of them. But at the end, Matt doesn't kill Muse at that point, but Fisk in the end kills the other guy at the very end, which is very sad, but it shows it's like, okay, Matt's back to where he is very compassionate and will not kill, but he's also there to save Angela. And then Fisk, on the other hand, is there for vendetta and to get back to who he is.
yep, he completely broke.
Yeah, he broke himself. And, you know, we don't see the cleanup crew at this point cleaning up anything that was going on there, but it was kind of a dance between both of them with both scenes interplaying at the same time because they do initial cuts within the scenes, and I thought that was done very well.
I agree. It was very poetic. It made the ending really it was very impressive. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, the very much like with the ending with Matt seeing Muse is gone, but he already saved Angela. He was giving her CPR and everything. And then Fisk sitting there alone, reflecting and looking at the body of the guy he just decimated.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any notes on this particular episode? Anything that you wanted to bring up or talk about?
I think we've covered
I have a few.
I have a lot more for 7 than I do 6. So
well,
go ahead. What do you got?
I have one which is very funny too, but this is just me because my friend Mike Scarna lived in a family. Both his parents were deaf when they were born, and they came together. And Mike has hearing, and I had to stay at his house once, and it's funny when you stay with somebody who's deaf. You know, the lights are literally blinking when the phone rings or the doorbell rings and things of that nature. But I found it interesting with Matt, and he has a TV in his house. I don't know if you've noticed that. He's got a TV with a sound bar. So obviously that's a thing. You could still watch TV, but obviously they're going to have something like voice recognition of what's going on within the show or whatever movie he's watching. So I thought that was pretty cool. It also happens to be the same thing that's on his computer too. And the voice playing what he is searching, but he's able to touch and tab as he goes on his search on his laptop. And I thought that was a pretty cool thing to see.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. And
I didn't think about that.
The last note I have would be Muse. You know, it's about Muse, and it basically is a mysterious and deep disturbed serial killer who believed he was giving purpose to his victims by turning them into twisted works of art via transferring their blood and gore into large murals or other displays. And that's what I was able to obtain because the character is in the comics, but it was a short-lived character at one point from as I could find. And that's the description that I was able to get for that particular character. And the only thing I would have left is quotes, and I only have one quote.
I don't have any, so go ahead.
It would be Fisk regarding the police and the special task force he is creating, saying, "Some regard them as a gang. I prefer to call them motivated individuals."
Yeah. I like that.
So, and I can't do a decent enough gravelly Vincent D'Onofrio imitation.
It's very close.
Almost. Anyhow, on to episode 7. And what's the title of that and the synopsis?
The title is Art for Art's Sake. And the synopsis is Daredevil is back and races Fisk to stop Muse from killing again. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, this goes into a little bit more detailed of
Yes.
of what's going on. So it's a good thing that we're doing these 2 episodes back to back. Doing it episodically would have been like, oh my God, I gotta wait another week
Yeah.
for the episode and then talk about this. Yes, we are waiting a week, but yes, you're also getting it literally almost a day of or day before the episode comes out. Anyhow, what were your overall thoughts about this episode? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you
No,
find
I
it more
loved it.
intriguing?
This is my favorite one of the season at this point. And the main reason is, I love me some Vanessa. And she really, really had.
She's showing her true colors,
There
and they're
is
shining through, like Cyndi Lauper would say.
Yeah. I can't wait. If this is going to go the direction that I think it is, I cannot wait to see the dance or the chess match, however you want to look at it, with her and Fisk. And we'll get into it when we start
Yes.
the specific discussion. But I love that this gave me my Vanessa fix. I think the side characters were the standouts in this episode. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
The main actors did a phenomenal job as always, but I don't know his name and I should, but that douchebag that's friends with BB.
Oh, yes, I know who you're talking about.
Boy, did he
Daniel Blake.
Daniel Blake.
And do you know who plays him?
I think you and Steve told me, but I don't remember.
No, it's Michael Gandolfini.
Oh my God.
James Gandolfini's son.
Wow.
And he has that accent down perfect to the sound like a mafioso like his dad did.
He, to go from the early season kind of almost goofy, nerdy, wannabe cool like the Kingpin or Fisk kind of guy to that moment where Fisk was like, I'm going to forgive you, but you do it again. And then he just full on did a 180 and took on that persona. And the way he talked to BB, I was like, you are one to watch. And then I think his name is Buck.
Yep, Buck.
Who is, oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
He's been in the earlier episodes, but I just remember looking at him like, who are you? He's like Wesley.
Yeah.
Not Wesley. Was it Wesley that was his main dude in the earlier season 1?
Yeah.
Okay, I think that was his name. That's his Wesley. And I was like, dang. So I just loved, and then even Heather, she had, her role was very, and the young man that played Muse, all these side characters stole the show from the main characters. And while the main characters were great, that's what really, really won me over about this episode. And it's got to be my favorite so far.
Yeah. The one thing who plays, was it Sebastian or Bastian, who is Muse, that we do find out?
Bastian, I believe.
Yeah. And honestly, what really gave to me a little bit more of like emotional and feel of within this episode was Matt's prayers in the very beginning, and he talks to Heather about it in the very beginning. That was a key moment, and I did really enjoy this episode. It showed it. We're narrowing it down to literally how the first season of Daredevil was, where Matt totally embraces his character or his hero aspects as being Daredevil. Very much almost like how Fisk is embracing how he truly is, how he is a complete mobster. And we already saw the start of that at the very end of the last episode with episode 6. I thought it was amazing, and then we get a little bit more detail within this. I love Heather and the fact how she kind of like drills Matt a little bit because she goes into the shower with Matt.
That was HOT. Oh
But
my God. But
she
he's using sex to distract her from her point. Anytime
But
she tries to get emotional or you notice he goes straight
to the
into the
emotional a little bit,
distraction.
yeah.
But good Lord, I was like, yeah, okay, I'll take
Well, he's
this.
got a nice body. I can't give Charlie Cox any flack about that. He's a handsome man. But she catches the bruises. And then
Yeah,
she kind of calls him out on it. He goes, well, I kind of fell because that's usually because I'm blind. And
he
it's like,
lied.
and then he lied, and she caught him in the lie. She goes, well, if you were working on his case, your briefcase was left here. What were you doing? And she's trying to pull it out of him more and more. And she's realizing she's catching him in these lies.
Well, that's
And
one of my, I'm sorry, go ahead.
God, no, that was it.
That was one of my main points for the episode was a note literally says shower scene was capital HOT exclamation point. But I almost thought the most convenient thing for them to do would be to kill her off because
That would
there's
throw
no
Matt over the
way.
edge at that point.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm thinking there's no way he can. Now that he's embraced Daredevil again, there's no way he can balance. And I am fresh off of Foggy finding out who he is,
Yeah.
Karen having an idea who he is back in the original. So this may just be that fresh in my head, but him trying to explain away things. And when you're in an intimate relationship with somebody, not only physical, but emotional,
Correct.
You cannot hide the bruises. You cannot hide the lies. It all catches up. And her being a therapist, she knows the signs. And I don't see how he's going to be able to separate his personal and professional life. He wasn't successful before. I definitely don't think he's going to be successful with her. So I, in my head, thought, okay, they might just kill her off so that is not a wrench. But I'm glad they didn't because I am very interested to see how he does this because she sees a trauma victim suffering from PTSD on a regular basis. And he's not going to be able to hide that from her much longer.
That is true.
Sorry, I took a long road to get to that one point.
No. But we do see elements later on during the fight with Muse and him coming to her aid. And you would think within that time she would actually recall. It's like, wait, Daredevil came to my aid and he knew my name.
Well, she said that, yeah. She said, and didn't she say that to him in the hospital?
Yes.
Okay. And that voice, it's one
his
thing.
His voice is very distinct.
It is, and he doesn't alter it like Batman and Bruce Wayne or whatever.
He's not playing Batfleck, everybody. He doesn't have a voice.
Right. So it's like, well, how and as a therapist, you're trained to see and hear just like Matt is other things because he can't see. So his ears are, his hearing is heightened. It's gonna click at some point.
Everything.
Something's gonna trigger.
And
she's gonna hear that
Angela.
voice.
Same thing with Angela herself. Angela knew what Daredevil sounded like. And then literally he was there in a hospital with Angela at that point as well. So I would not put it past the fact that we do get more of that. I would not put it past the MCU or Marvel TV universe, as it were, for Disney Plus, I have to like call it that Angela would be the next White Tiger in the making.
Yeah, I heard that on your episode
Yeah,
5 and 6 with
because
Steve.
in the comics, that's what literally happens. That also would interplay into the Young Avengers if that were the case. So she could also be a member of the Young Avengers as well, along with Kate Bishop and Ant-Man's daughter and everybody else, Wicked and Speed and all that stuff.
I don't know anything about the Young Avengers, but I like her. It makes sense that that would be the path that she goes down, and I think it would be good for Matt as Daredevil to have someone to
embrace that.
Yes, and to have a sounding board. I think he'll fight her every step of the way because that's in his nature, and he doesn't want anyone else to get hurt. But I think it's going to make
or break him.
If this continues to go forward past season 1, I think that could be a really great story arc. For both
they've already stated that they will be doing a Born Again season 2.
Oh, that's great.
So they've already announced that in some ways, because there was talks of all things Eldon Hansen. Sorry, spoilers, everybody. We already said spoiler full. Eldon Hansen as Foggy Nelson in season 2. How would Foggy Nelson?
It has to be flashbacks. There's no way.
Either two things that will happen. There is a comic book run about Foggy Nelson and how he did fake his death in the comics.
Okay, don't tell me anymore. I want to be surprised when season 2 comes out.
But it also upsets me that we didn't get my one and only, and I love her so much, Deborah Ann Wall as Karen Page. We have not seen her since. Will she show up at the very end? That doesn't mean you won't. Will she show up in the end? And I'm wondering if that will be the case.
Well, if Foggy's coming back, I could see her doing it. And I could also see if the relationship between he and Heather strengthened, because Heather mentioned her to him as when she was talking about Foggy.
Like an ex-girlfriend, though.
Exactly. So maybe they do bring her back towards the end of the season to kind of throw a wrench in their relationship bliss.
Possibly.
And kind of give Heather a little bit more character to be like the jealous girlfriend. I'm here for it. I'm here for the drama.
There you go.
But I don't know. It'd be cool.
Yeah, and then there are other things that found my interest within the episode too. The investigation about Muse gets interesting. How they're looking into everything because they're going over everything what happened to Angela. They go back. Not only do the police go there and scour everything in that lair, looking at the evidence, the pictures, and everything, and how frightful they are. They were done in blood in some way. And then obviously we do get that whole therapy session between Bastian and Heather. And
that was intense.
That was so intense in the sense that she kind of figured out halfway through, like quarter way through. It's like, yeah, you're the crazy, because he takes the blood from his nose, starts drawing with it. The talk about Taekwondo, and we know that's exactly how he was able to combat, Matt in his lair at that point. And he said, I don't like it. I want to be the true artist that I am. And it started going on and on and on. And then Matt touching.
That was way cool.
And feeling the artwork and how it was painted and realizing it was Heather. And that's how he was drawn to go to it. And then at the same exact time, the police show up, but the police can't get up there in time. And Matt just like blows through and the window, like Spider-Man style, like Daredevil at this point. And starts attacking and going after. And it was weird how Bastion at this point, as Muse, because he has the full costume on, and he's putting out a canvas on the floor, literally a drop cloth, almost to be his canvas, so he could utilize Heather as a template and paint with.
Mm-hmm.
And it just goes into like a huge battle scene at this
It
point.
was so cool. Two things about that battle scene. One, the sticks with the things in them.
Oh, yeah.
I've never seen that. I haven't seen that yet.
Well, like I said, it's a callback. If you think about Ben Affleck's Daredevil, he had the same thing with the whips inside them.
I
They could
have
separate them.
mentally blocked out
Yeah, I know you did.
Ben Affleck Daredevil.
But I'm so glad that they actually utilized them in this case, in this show. They didn't really show it too much in the original Netflix version, but the fact that he was able to do all the choking and everything else, and
it was cool as shit.
Taking out Bastion at that point, and he was able to get Heather out, and
I
just
like that.
Leave it.
That I don't like that she was forced to kill him. I feel like that's something that's going to weigh heavily on her conscience, but it served Matt well because once again, he didn't kill Muse.
No.
He didn't kill anyone. He did what he has been trying to do, and that's protect the city without being a murderer. So he kind of walks away from it with his hands clean. But I love if it's okay to go into Fisk and his reaction. You were talking about them uncovering the story of who Bastion is, and it kind of goes back and forth with that and his Bastion's therapy session with Heather, which I love how the show is doing those back and forth. They're so well done. But I thought it was good advice from Buck for Fisk not to do anything, to let it go. But of course, Fisk cannot do that because why? He's selfish and he doesn't want anyone else taking the credit for what he feels he can do better. And the way he spun what happened at the scene and the way Mean Guy threatens BB later to corroborate the story is he made it look like his task force was the one who was successful and debunks all.
And he shows the mask at the press conference.
And that's like the first time I've seen what I'm assuming since early days Vanessa was a happy Fisk. So it was just like, ooh, well played. That was well done.
But we also get Vanessa meeting up with Luca at that point, at some point, and her going behind Fisk's back to do the typical things that she wants to do, which was traditional Kingpin style, and her keeping it, quote unquote, in the family, as it were.
Well, it surprised me with her that when she sent that text, I thought, okay, she's going to have Luca killed. But when he busts in and we see Fisk sitting there eating alone, and the best Vincent D'Onofrio scene of this series to date, of all the episodes that I've seen, was Luca walking in, didn't even get his gun out. And bam, he's Buck gone. Thank you, Buck. And he's still just eating his steak like nothing just happened.
And he tells Buck to actually call her to say, hey, is there anything you would want from the restaurant?
So do you think he knows?
Oh, he knows.
That she put the hit out. Oh, then that makes this dance
I'm pretty sure
sweeter.
He knows because he knows Vanessa.
Do you think she somehow knows has known he's had Adam? I think that for her to want him dead, I don't think Vanessa's main grab here is that she just wants the power and the money. I think she wants revenge because he took Adam away from her.
I think so too. And also, it's like you said, it's a game of chess. and it's the king versus the queen at this point. And we're going to see who gets checkmate.
Hashtag Team Vanessa.
You know that's not going to work very much in her favor.
I don't know that. The girls show she's got some cojones.
She got cojones. I do agree with you on that. I really do agree with you. She knows how to challenge him, and that's why they are married. That's why they are meant to be with each other. But the fact is like, yeah, we you got that whole scene, and it's amazing. And I love how at the very end, towards the end of the episode too, Heather telling Matt in the hospital that Daredevil said her name and caved her aid at stopping Muse. And then Matt just kind of brushing it off. But we've also had, I forget the name. It's Clark Johnson who plays the character, and I forget who he is.
Jerry?
Jerry? Yeah, it was Jerry.
I thought it was Cherry.
Cherry. You're right. And
I love how our brains are syncing, and I knew exactly who you were talking about. Y'all, it's happening.
Yeah, him talking to Matt and how donning the costume again and being that is going to cost him, and it's going to come after him. Because Fisk already put out that threat saying, I will be coming after you if you put on that costume. And within this episode, he does find out, and he knows that the Daredevil is back. And he knew that he saved Angela.
And the special force cop guy knows who Matt is.
Correct.
Knows Matt is Daredevil. So
yeah, so that you know that everything is gunning for him. So I think because, well, spoilers, everybody, if you did not see pictures of upcoming episodes, because they were usually leaked and spoiled online. You do
I don't want to be spoiled.
You want to be spoiled?
No, I don't. You know, okay. I hate spoilers.
Oh, okay, fine.
Stay tuned after the episode when I hang up and
and yell
Mark
at me.
gives the spoiler section.
No, I will not do a spoiler section. But we've already encountered Mr. Frank Castle. So to see him come back again.
Oh, that's okay. I
would not be surprised.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And that I'm hoping it's Frank's like vengeance on these cops that are going around using his logo.
Yeah.
And then taking an opportunity to go after Fisk's special task force along with Matt. I'm hoping for that to happen. Them working together would be amazing. The one person that is missing out of all this, and we were teased and we were told this like in pre-production when the show was being filmed, Jessica Jones. Where's Jessica? I want to see Jessica Jones. I want to see Kristen Ritter. They were the Defenders.
Well, she's she just, what is she on? Dexter.
She's on the new Dexter show that's coming out.
She's
eventually.
busy.
She is filming in New York. But that was the whole thing. That was the rumors, everybody on Instagram, because they were filming, and I think I mentioned it before. It was near the Museum of Natural History, the park in front of it, in that area right near Central Park. And I know that very well. And there was photos and video of them together, her and Michael C. Hall. And everybody kept saying, oh, it's Daredevil. It's Daredevil. No, it's not. That was the next Dexter show that's coming out, and I'm looking forward to that too. Everybody, I'm a huge Dexter fan, and so I'm looking forward to that. But I want to see her back yet again as Miss Jessica Jones, as well as Michael Coulter as Luke Cage. I really want to see Mr. Michael Coulter put on the muscle, man. You are one handsome dude when you got that muscle on. Oh, I'd lick those brown muscles if I could.
Alrighty then. So, do you have any notes?
Notes wise, not so much. Not on this. I think we kind of spilled them into the conversation, but I only have one particular quote.
I have one note.
Yeah, one note. All right, go ahead.
And it was adding to what we talked about in episode 6, that with him cutting her arm and the blood from the fight and whatnot, I really think they're leaning more into the gory side that the original season had in these last 2 episodes.
Awesome.
And I have one quote too, so you go first. If they're the same one, I'm going to laugh.
Well, mine's from Bastian saying, "The city is starting to finally see who I am," and pointing him to be Muse, literally.
Yeah.
That's literally all it is.
Mine is his,
with him and Heather.
Mine is his too, with Heather. And I'm not sure if I got it 100% right, but when she's putting up that last and final fight, and he says, "I know there's only one question in your head. Can you make it to the door in time?"
Oh,
And
yes.
That was amazing.
That is amazing to actually, see. And it's just like, what?
That was way cool.
That's like so serial killer-esque.
He was the perfect serial killer. He did a phenomenal job.
Yeah, he did. You can't go wrong with that. But, well, he no more. He did.
Yeah, he's so dead. He killed him till he was dead.
I killed him till he was dead, Daddy. All right. Well, we'll let you fans know. We did send in stuff for feedback. We didn't get any feedback. Steve had stated that he wished he could be here.
Aww.
And he looks forward to what we have to say. He messaged me from Germany on his vacation with his family. So thanks, Steve. And we look forward to when you get back and we could continue with this venture with Daredevil Born Again. For those of you fans that want to leave any feedback, well, like I said, I posted it. All you have to do is go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/panels to pixels. And then I leave an image, and what's there on Facebook shows up on Instagram. And guess what? Just leave your thoughts in the comments below of the image. I did leave an image. If you feel that you need to email us, you can email us. And you could just email us at panels2pixels1@gmail.com. Panels, 2 spelled out T-O, pixels, and the number 1@gmail.com. You can write out your thoughts. We'll read it. We'll say your name, right? Read your thoughts. And if you feel like you don't want to write anything and you don't want to record yourself, because we have all these cool, nifty devices, record yourself and then we'll play it. So it's as if you're on the podcast itself, and we love to hear your voice, honestly. We could also be found on YouTube, and that's on Panels to Pixels podcast. And what's on our podcast goes to the YouTube channel as well as the YouTube podcast. And you could just leave your comments there. I get them. I get notified. I think I get like 15 notifications a week from, what Becky does on her podcast through Hardcore Entertainment Podcast. Anyhow, you could do that. But while you're there, if you are on YouTube, please subscribe to us. Please give us a thumbs up on the episode if you can, and ring the bell to be notified. That also helps us with improvements and get us noticed a lot more, and would be greatly appreciated. As well as sending in a rating or review on like Spotify or Apple Podcasts. That would be highly appreciated. And obviously 5 stars are always welcomed, but I ask everybody to be very honest. And we've gotten, over the course of the years, we've gotten over 15. And I thank everybody who has submitted something and appreciated what we do. Other than that, well, as far as comic book news, I don't really have anything really motivated to put in there. I don't want this to go too long because I don't want to bore you guys. But we'll bring that up next time when we have a little bit more time, because we're going to do episode 8, and then we'll talk about that stuff at that point. Podcast recommendations. Do you have any, Becky?
I do. I recommend, for those people out there who don't have enough crazy in their lives and are watching Yellow Jackets, to check out Podcastica's Yellow Jackets WTF podcast. We're one episode away from the finale, and it's a mess. It's all over. It's crazy.
The season
it's
finale,
just crazy.
Season 3 finale, everybody. And yeah. If you're really into it and you're like into intense stuff, binge watch the first 3 seasons. Have fun.
Yeah, take some breaks in between. But they can be found on podcastica.com. There's a lot of good content out there, so check it out.
Yeah.
I also recommend my sweet, amazing, wonderful friend Mandy, who, through our dear Mark and Pirate Core Entertainment, has started her own podcast called Dinner for Her. And Mandy is a history buff, and Mandy is an advocate and champion for women who have left a positive mark on this world. So in her podcast, she does a lot to talk about a specific specific person in history that's been a very influential woman. She has a friend on every week, and they discuss that person, and then Mandy makes a dinner based on the time period or personal preferences of that particular person they're talking about. So Dinner for Her, you can find it under Pirate Core Entertainment. You can also find it on Facebook and Instagram, and Mandy's fancier than me. She's got TikTok. So check her out. It's a lot of fun. And if you love strong women, you'll love this podcast.
Awesome. I'm glad you brought that up too. I really did enjoy it, and I got to listen to it, and I love what Mandy has. As far as her like recording and everything, please give her a shot. She's just starting out, and you could tell there's a lot of heart in her podcast, and with her guests that are on there too. As far as doing the recipes, I don't know. That Eleanor Roosevelt one.
Oh God, that was just, I don't know. That sounded absolutely. So I will tell you, if you ever want to go on, if you're a woman and you ever want to go on this podcast, make sure you pick someone that had good taste in food, because Mandy will make you eat some crazy stuff. So
yep, exactly. All right. Now we're at the point in the podcast. So where can listeners hear you? So Becky, where can people hear you?
Well, you can hear me right here with the amazing Mark and crew on Panels to Pixels. You can hear me on Adrenaline Cinema Podcast, and you can hear me on my very own podcast, What's On Tonight, where we have unpredictable, quirky, and fun conversations about TV, movies, and more. Mandy and I are currently covering The Pit. We are about to cover the season finale this weekend. Oh my gosh. It has been a fun ride. We have gotten to interview some of the cast members. It's been amazing. So if you like that show, or you just like hearing two crazy girls talk about TV in general, please give us a listen. Again, that's What's On Tonight podcast. You can find us on Pirate Core's Entertainment. You can also find us on Facebook and Instagram. Give us a listen.
Awesome.
What about you?
Me? Well, you could always hear me here as well on Pounds to Pixels podcast. We've been doing this for almost like 8 years, everybody. So I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to continue to do all these shows that were adapted from comic to movie to show to animation, what have you. And I'll be continuing to do so. And we'll be continuing our efforts with our coverage with Daredevil Born Again. And then we'll be moving into the Thunderbolts when that comes out, and possibly other stuff that I've been looking into. And actually, I might go back into the well and go back to Captain America 1990. Or maybe 1979. I don't know. Oh, we might have some fun later on. After we covered Daredevil Born Again. We might actually revisit Invincible and wrap up our final thoughts, Jamie and I, once she is not in Japan. And hopefully she could come back and we could finalize the whole season. You could hear me on Adrenaline Cinema Podcast, as always. Look forward to Jerry. Our friend Jerry's coming back, and we are going to continue with the Apes legacy, the Planet of the Apes series, the movie series from the 70s, 60s and 70s, I should say. And we're going to finalize that a little bit. He wants to do the next Apes movie that we were doing, and we were doing consecutively. I had to have him remind me. He has not gotten back to me, but look forward to that coming up. We might actually do a quick overview of Mayfair Witches and our overall thoughts and what we liked, what we didn't like, and try not to bash it too much before Interview with the Vampire comes back. And then on top of that, we put out the second episode of the Pirate Core Music Podcast with Rima Joe and myself. Rima coming from Strange Indeed.
Y'all did a great job.
So we had a good time and having fun with that. Just talking about music, the music that we love, albums. In that case, we did Guns N' Roses, Appetite for Destruction. Coming up within the next month, you'll be hearing from myself and Rob for the Pirate Core Music Podcast, and we'll be covering Iron Maiden. The whole legacy of Iron Maiden. So you're talking about 50 years, because we're coming up on the 50-year anniversary of Iron Maiden. There's going to be a Netflix documentary, but I really wanted to concentrate. It might be an extra long doozy one, everybody, because a lot of things have happened to Iron Maiden. And both Rob and I love Maiden, and I was the bass player for an Iron Maiden tribute band back in 1992 to 93. And it was one of few. And the, tri-state area and New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, if you would call it. So I was one of few. So I was in Prowler, the Iron Maiden tribute band. So I got to play bass in that band, and awesome. I loved it. So we'll be covering that. And then you could also hear Rob and myself, my friend Rob Murr. We are going to be doing Rad, the movie Rad from 1986, which is about BMX bicycling and everything.
I was 10.
But we're going to be covering that particular. So that's something to look forward to in the future. So just check with us, go to piratecoreentertainment.com, or just go to Adrenaline Cinema Podcast on Facebook, as well as Panels the Pixels Podcast, or Pirate Core Entertainment on Facebook as well. Anyhow, not to bore you with anything, and at this point, usually Steve's like, wrap it up. Or
I know, I'm in my head, and Steve, if you're listening, in my head, I am shouting,
Mark, stop it.
Sacramento,
no, blah, blah, blah.
Sacramento.
So that was our episode. I just want to thank everyone for listening. I'm Mark.
And I'm Becky.
Same podcast, different panel, different pixel. This was Panels the Pixels Podcast. And we'll see you on the next panel. We'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.
Later, Gators.